Morning. Pray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome to the show, everyone. It is great to be with you, and it is great to be broadcasting on a great day in St. Louis sports. What a beautiful day it is. We've had enough rain. We're done, I think. Sounded like it. And it's now time for the Cardinals and the Dodgers Game 3. What a series we have had. Then at 5 o'clock, it's the Battlehawks and the DC Defenders. You have a chance to see the Battlehawks after the Cardinals game. I would recommend that. Maybe you haven't thought of that. But when Busch Stadium spills out at around, let's say, 3:30, 4 o'clock, head on over to the Dome. Get yourself a little something, and, you got an hour of tailgating, and then get a ticket and get in there. The Battlehawks are playing in the XFL Conference Championship game tonight at 5 o'clock against the DC Defenders. And if they win that, they will be in the UFL Championship at the Dome on Saturday. Can you imagine what that will be like if they play at the Dome on Saturday? Good times to be a St. Louis sports fan. On top of that, City plays tonight at Portland. They've won a game now, so they're going to try to win back-to-back. They're at Portland. They play at 6 o'clock on Y98 FM. So we have all kinds of stuff going on. French Open is happening right now. NBA Finals tonight. IndyCar a week from today. We're loaded here on Sports on a Sunday morning. But make no mistake about it, the Cardinals are national news right now. They have gotten Major League Baseball's attention. They have won the first 2 games of this series against the Dodgers, and it's the way that they have done it, shutting down this powerful Dodgers offense. 5-0 on Friday. Sonny Gray spins a beauty, and then the bullpen follows him. And then yesterday, the Cardinals, Eric Fetty going up against one of the best in the business, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And this game was really good. It was a 0-0 game in the 5th inning. Both pitchers get through 5. Fetty struggles to get through 6. He goes 5 1/3 because he walked 4. He only threw 52 strikes in his 99 pitches. But Fetty has a way of managing that, and he gets his way through that. He gives up 4 hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts in 5 1/3. He goes scoreless. He's pulled before his 100th pitch, and Steven Matz comes in and saves the day. Fetty put 2 on to start that inning. He got the strikeout, and then Matz finished it off. Matz goes an inning and 2/3 scoreless, allowing 2 hits. That's it. No walks and a strikeout. Kyle Leahy comes in, does his thing, gets out of trouble in the 8th inning to keep it a 0-0 game. That takes us to the 8th inning, the bottom of the 8th, and the Cardinals need to get something here so they can hand the ball over to Ryan Helsley and close this game out. And that is exactly what they do. In the 8th inning, the Cardinals have the following up. It's Nootbaar, Wynn, Donovan. It's exactly what you want. Top of the order. Let's go. And Nootbaar pops out to third base. That's 1 out. Then Wynn with a base hit to right. That brings up Brendan Donovan. And you know what he's going to do? He's going to get a hit. He's just a machine. Donovan gets a hit to right, and Wynn stops at second base. Contreras, though, flies out to right, and there are 2 gone for Alec Burleson.
The 1-strike pitch. Burleson hits a ground ball off Kasparius. He scrambles, picks it up, throws the first, and it's offline, coming down the line, trying to score. Save! Mason Wynn kept on running, and he scores the first run of the game.
Mason Wynn scores all the way from second base. He is lightning fast. He's also a heads-up runner, and he makes it home, and that won't be the last time. Kasparius has some trouble. After Herrera popped out to end the inning, the Dodgers try to counter against Ryan Helsley in the top of the 9th. Kim strikes out. It's up to Ohtani. He singles, but it goes basically off the base in center field. This goes down as a base hit that gets by Donovan, but really it strikes the base and takes a hop that Donovan catches, and it's a base hit for Ohtani. Who knows what would have happened there? Then Mookie Betts does his thing. He is one of the best players. I still think you talk about best players in the game, Betts has to be in that conversation. I know Ohtani gets a lot of attention, and rightfully so. He's a wonder of the world, really. But Betts is a phenomenal player. This guy with a hit in a key moment to keep it alive. And he puts Ohtani at third because he smokes one into center field, but Ohtani is moving and he gets to third base. That brings up Freddie Freeman, and Chip Carey said it on the TV broadcast. He said, I can't think of a tougher save than this. It's a 1-0 game, and you have to face. Look at what we just said. Ohtani, Betts, Freeman. Here's Freeman.
First and third, the pitch. Freeman bounces that one. Oh, it's a swing and a miss. The ball gets away from Pages. The Dodgers score a run. It's a strikeout. The ball got away from the Cardinal catcher. We're tied at 1.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Now, it bounces and spins away from Pedro Pages, who's such a good catcher, but that ball spins away from him. That is a wild pitch. That does score a run. And I've said this a lot. I think old Cardinals teams of the past, some of them, might have folded there. That here we go. Dodgers are going to find a way. The big $350 million team is going to find a way to win this game and walk away with it. Not this Cardinals team. This Cardinals team is different. They bear down here. Helsley, credit to him. He settles down. He strikes out Will Smith, who, by the way, was the number 2 hitter in the National League coming into the weekend. He strikes out. So here we go to the bottom of the 9th, and Nolan Gorman delivers right away a ground rule double. That is such a massive hit. They bring in Jose Barrero for him as a pinch runner. Pedro Pages comes up, drops down a bunt. Gasparius throws it away, and everybody is safe. So Pages is at first. Barrero is at third. And Ollie Marmol had a good game yesterday. I know that a lot of you think highly of him now. Maybe some of you still don't think much of him, but I don't care what you think of Ollie Marmol at this point. You can admit he had a good game yesterday. He pushed all the right buttons. He made all the right decisions, including this last one, pulling Victor Scott, and his pinch hitter is a guy you may know, Nolan Arenado.
The pitch by Casparius, swing, and there's a high fly ball. Left field. That ball is down for a game winner, a Redbird winner. Lighted up in downtown St. Louis. Arenado gets a single to drive in Barrero, and the Cardinals have beaten the Dodgers 2-1.
He gets the better of Dave Roberts, does Ollie Marmol. Roberts moved the infield in. He went with 5 infielders on that play to try to catch Arenado pulling a ground ball. That did not happen. He lofted one in the air because he's a pro. He drops it into left field. It bounces into the seats. It's a ground rule double, and the Cardinals win the ball game. Final score 2-1. What a win. I feel like we've said a few times now, win of the year so far. That's the win of the year so far. A 2-1 win over the defending world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Let's go down to the field and hear from Mason Wynn.
Our player of the game this afternoon, and one of the best games we've seen at Busch Stadium all year long, and the hustle by Mason Wynn to give us the lead. What can you say about this afternoon's game? This has been a terrific ball game.
No, that was a lot of fun, man. Pitchers went toe-to-toe. 2 dogs out there on the mound, but, we came out on top. That was fire tonight.
The pitching has been outstanding last night and tonight. What are you seeing from where you sit at shortstop?
Man, I'm seeing a lot of zeros, man. That's what we need, too. So, it's been great. Obviously, like I said, that's a good team over there, and Freddie came out today, did his job, and the bullpen backed him right up.
Let's talk about your base running skills today. When did you decide you were going to go for it?
Honestly, I really wasn't, and I saw the ball kind of going off to the left. Freddie made a great pick, but I was already committed at that point, so I just kept going.
And Pop gave you the green light as well?
Come on, yeah, he was waving me on.
Nice work this afternoon. Let's go get another one tomorrow.
Come on, let's get a sweep.
Mason Wynn, our player of the game.
Mike Claiborne, thanks very much. Always good to hear from Mason and the roar of the crowd there. That crowd is hyped right now, and they'll be back there today, 40,000 plus for these ball games as the Cardinals win another one over the Dodgers. The Cardinals are closing in on the Dodgers record right now. Cardinals are 36-28. The Dodgers are 38-27. LA leads the NL West by a game over the Padres and the Giants, so they both say thank you to that. The Mets lead the East by 3.5 over the Phillies. Mets have the best record in the National League at 41-24, but the Cardinals aren't that far off. The Cubs have the second best record in the league at 40-24. They're 4 games in front of the Redbirds in the NL Central. St. Louis, 8 games over 500, 36-28, 4 games out. The Brewers are right on them, 5.5 back, 5 games over 500 with their recent surge. They've won 8 of their last 10, and they will host the Cardinals this weekend for 4. So things are getting to be a lot of fun here. At the end of this month, we're going to see the Cubs come into Busch Stadium, so it's starting to get real here. These interleague series have been a lot of fun, but this one was highly anticipated. with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they are on the cusp of getting swept. Now, beware, this Dodgers team will be raring to go, and they can't be held down for long. Very rare to hold a team to over in the first two games of their caliber with runners in scoring position, but that's what has happened to the Dodgers. They'll be facing Michael McGreevy, who I'm not going to speak for him right now, but I will say my feeling, he won't be scared one bit of the situation today. That's just the kind of pitcher that he is. Of course, he'll be excited. I'm sure his heart will be racing at the start, but he will be excited to go up against this Dodgers team. He has great stuff. He is good against righties. He's good against lefties. And he kind of reminds you of Adam Wainwright a little bit in the way that he carries himself, in the way that he delivers, the way that he talks about the game. I think it's going to be fun to watch him today throw against this Dodgers team. And on the other side, Clayton Kershaw, one of the best to ever do it. And yes, Kershaw does have some history with Busch Stadium, shall we say, some nightmarish moments, but those are a long time ago, a decade plus now in the playoffs when Matt Adams reached him for a home run in the NLDS to turn a 2-0 deficit into a 3-2 Cardinals lead. And he had some problems at Dodger Stadium against the Cardinals as well, but he is still going. He's going to Cooperstown. You're not going to see him much longer, and it's great to see Clayton Kershaw out there pitching for the Dodgers. The Cardinals going up against him. It's just a great appreciation of baseball. I think the Cardinals and Dodgers, two of the great franchises in sports. The Cardinals, with all of their great history and players, the Dodgers have some great ones. And most notably, in my mind, Jackie Robinson, which is part of their widespread appeal, their history. You know, you think of Koufax and Drysdale, and then you think of Valenzuela and Kirk Gibson and some of these great names that have come through there. And now this trio that I just talked about of Ohtani and Betts and Freeman, Jackie Robinson, and the great history of the Los Angeles Dodgers. But with all of their excitement around the country of LA, the Cardinals still trump them when it comes to world championships, 11-8. And so we'll see what happens with these two franchises moving forward. But the Cardinals are trying to put themselves in a position to not have any more slippage. They want to get back to being the machine that they used to be and get back to being National League royalty. So it's a fun little watch here. You got this high payroll with the Dodgers. You have this Cardinals team that cut payroll, that's trying to develop players, but they hung on to, and they actually had some players tell them they wanted to come back. Gray, Contreras, they hung on to Helsley. They hung on to, not by their own doing, they tried to trade him, but Arenado, who decided to come back, rejected a trade to Houston, and he walks back into Jupiter after the Cardinals couldn't deal him, and now he gets the game-winning hit yesterday in a pinch hitting role. So it's fun right now. It's exciting to be a Cardinals fan. It is entertaining. It is up and down sometimes. But right now, this team is legitimately being talked about as a contender in the National League, and they should be. If they drop down a sweep now this weekend, that's some serious stuff. That's fun. And the Blue Jays will come in tomorrow. Another good team. Good stretch. Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis. We have John Mozeliak at 11:30 today. We have Bernie Miklasz at 11:45. Coming up next, we'll hear from head coach Anthony Becht. The St. Louis Battlehawks are playing for their season tonight at 5 o'clock at the Dome. If they win it, they're in the UFL Championship on Saturday. At 10:30, it's IndyCar president Doug Boles. They run a week from today at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Former pole sitter of the Bommarito Automotive Group 500, Scott McLaughlin, at 10:45. At 11:15, Lutz Pfannenstiel, sporting director at City. They play tonight at 6 o'clock at Portland. Then John Mozeliak at 11:30, Bernie Miklasz at 11:45. Cardinals pregame at 12:20 right here on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
104.1 FM, KMOX. News, talk, sports.
At Ophthalmology Associates, their goal is to ensure that every one of their patients enjoys the best possible eyesight at every stage of their life. This is Rick Wallace, and I've been through several life stages with Ophthalmology Associates. I've trusted them with my eye care for almost 30 years. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer head up a network of leading specialists in every field of eye health. They're involved in leading-edge research and equipped with the latest technology to handle the most complex situations. And there is always personalized eye care tailored to your individual needs and preferences at Ophthalmology and Associates. Oh, yeah, pediatric eye care too, and a full-service optical shop. Ophthalmology Associates. Visit youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
There's an evil new twist in the tragic story of baby powder and its link to ovarian cancer. Recently uncovered documents reveal that talc can contain asbestos.
The same asbestos that we know causes mesothelioma.
Right, and ovarian cancer.
In the 1970s, the industry wrote its own rules, allowing Johnson & Johnson to claim that its talc was asbestos-free, as long as it contained less than 1% asbestos.
Of course, Johnson & Johnson helped write those rules. So while we're using hazmat suits to remove the asbestos from our homes, Johnson & Johnson was telling women it's safe for their bodies.
Unbelievable. So if you've used talcum powder for feminine hygiene and contracted ovarian cancer, call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
They've already won several large verdicts against Johnson & Johnson for women just like you.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH. That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Well, what a great time we have had already talking about the Cardinals and the Dodgers. And then there's football for fans here in downtown St. Louis. In fact, the tailgaters are arriving as we speak, setting up everything at Bear Plaza. There is a tailgate there today, as you well know. That's the spot. And the United Way of Greater St. Louis nonprofit partner, St. Louis Food Bank, will be on site today at the official St. Louis Battlehawks tailgate in Bear Plaza with their truck to collect items for those impacted by the tornadoes. Fans are encouraged to bring items today, such as canned goods, cereal, granola bars, storage containers, toothbrushes, toothpaste, body soap, shampoo, diapers, cleaning products, supplies, you name it, they need it. At the XFL Conference Championship today, if you buy a ticket for it today, also, you'll give $10 to the Tornado Relief Fund as the Battlehawks announce a series of activations in their Community Hustle initiative to support the immediate and long-term recovery efforts of St. Louis from the recent tornado damage. The Battlehawks working with their premier community partner, the United Way of Greater St. Louis. You can also buy apparel at Section 153 and round up at the register. There's a 50-50 raffle, all kinds of good stuff. Lee's Famous Recipe, Chicken has also extended their Battlehawks box promotion through the end of the postseason. They donate $1 from every box sold. So really good stuff. And this collaboration between the Battlehawks, Cardinals, Blues, and City and Anheuser-Busch was beautiful. These experiences and that auction that they had on Friday on FanDuel Sports and KMOV and Matrix Midwest was pretty neat. And KMOX was part of promoting that as well. Battlehawks and the DC Defenders today at 5 o'clock at the Dome. Let's turn things over to head coach Anthony Becht.
Really excited for our football team as we head into the playoffs. I think even more excited the fact that as far as available players, we're 100% healthy. We did lose Chris Garrett with a broken hand, which I'm sick about. But as far as our starters and guys that are playing and contributing on a play-to-play situation, as much as Chris will be missed on special teams, we do have a lot of good players on special teams. So a lot of good bounce, fresh legs. Again, just put a lot of thought and effort after 2 seasons in this league of figuring out how to prime our players so they feel good. Sat some guys, held back some guys, played some guys, but not as much last week. So hopefully this is the secret sauce. And so far it shows, because we do have a fresher team, a more determined team, a healthier team, knock on wood. And I'm excited about that. So there will be no excuses for us in this game to go out there and be at our best as far as effort, energy, and want to. I think that's the one thing I think different from last year going into this week for this season is, those things are at a very high level. So it gives us a great opportunity to go out there and execute.
That is head coach Anthony Becht, ready to go for today's game against the DC Defenders. They were in this situation a year ago. They lost to San Antonio and Wade Phillips at home and ended up missing a chance to play in the UFL championship in their own house. I would be stunned if they miss this opportunity again, but DC is there for a reason, and the Battlehawks are there for a reason. It's going to be a great football game between those two, with the season on the line and a chance for the Battlehawks to play at home. The Battlehawks will draw just fine. They play the Defenders today, while the Cardinals play the Dodgers before that. So again, I'll tell Cardinals fans, if you want to help out here, I think it'd be a great way to spend the latter part of your afternoon. Go over there, tailgate, and get in there and go see the Battlehawks and make some noise. And you'll be ready to go, especially if the Cardinals sweep. You're going to be fired up. You're going to want to go do something. Go over there. It's not far. In fact, you could park right between the two buildings and be in good shape, or park at the Dome and come over, and then your car's waiting for you north side of town. So, yeah, just trying to help out. Could be a fun day in downtown today if both of those teams win. I'll tell you that much. We're going to have a great weekend next weekend with IndyCar in town. Worldwide Technology Raceway is going to be hopping with thousands of people ready to watch that circuit. Coming up next, the president of IndyCar joins us, Doug Boles. We'll hear from Scott McLaughlin, IndyCar driver. We have Lutz Fan and Steele with us on the show, John Mozeliak, Bernie Miklas. I'm Tom Ackerman. Our producer is James O'Sullivan, and this is Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan from McKelvey Homes. Since 1898, we've been building homes of legendary quality with personal service for families in St. Louis for over 127 years. And to mark this special occasion, we are celebrating with our anniversary gift of $18,980 in options on all homes in all communities across St. Louis and St. Charles counties. When you're ready to move up to McKelvey, visit McKelveyhomes.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit CantorInjuryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
But do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Add some star-spangled style to your summer with Ashley's Stars and Stripes sale going on now. Shop Hot Buys for every room in your home, now just $6.99. Plus, you can save up to $1,000 store-wide. And don't miss upgrading your patio. Save up to 20% on select outdoor furniture. Or feel the freedom to buy now and pay over time with 0% interest until 2030 on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage Synchrony credit card. Only at Ashley. Subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Social Security is with you through life's journey from birth to retirement. As your life changes year to year, so do your needs. For over 80 years, Social Security has helped to meet your needs and is committed to improving access to the services that make a difference in your life. Today, you can verify your earnings, estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, manage your benefits, and even change your address, all from the comfort of your home. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
What does Del Walmsley, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, think you need to succeed in this market?
It's time to buy, and so you better get prepared, you better get educated, you better get your money right. You need to get involved because you're going to need the financing. You're going to need the vendors that we have available to us. You're just going to need the interaction with people. You need to immerse yourself into real estate.
Start your real estate immersion with a free workshop live online at lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome to the show. It is great to be along with you. We had a lot of fun talking Cardinals and Battlehawks, and there is much more to come. City SC, we'll talk some NBA, NHL, French Open, more Cardinals talk up until pregame today. Cardinals and Dodgers at 12:20 for the pregame, 1:15 for the first pitch. We are 1 week away from the Bommarito Automotive Group 500, the IndyCar race at Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois. Just 5 minutes from downtown St. Louis. They'll be gathering there as they always do. And rising country music star Chase Wright is paying tribute to St. Louis area first responders and relief workers by performing a free concert following the race on Sunday. Wright was originally scheduled to perform the national anthem prior to the event, but offered a free performance following the tornado that affected the region. The Indiana native has released 2 albums that feature energetic songs with a mix of traditional and modern sounds that'll be on display during his post-race performance. This is just part of this great gathering, a great weekend at Worldwide Technology Raceway. So thank you to Chase, and thank you to our next guest. Doug Boles is president of IndyCar and joins us live on KMOX Radio. Doug, thank you very much for being with us. How are you doing?
I can't wait for next Sunday. The countdown is on. Really looking forward to the opportunity to race under the lights on Sunday night on Father's Day. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, let's talk about that move first. What a move that was for the track and for IndyCar to get a Sunday night race for you, for the track, for Fox. That's a big audience, a lot of eyeballs on St. Louis that night.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great for everybody. You know, it's really the help of the folks at Bommarito, Worldwide Technology Raceway, Curtis and Chris just kind of working with us to adjust a little bit, and certainly the fans for doing that. It's a great opportunity for us to showcase what a great racetrack it is, and also showcase in a network platform on Sunday night, really how great the NTT IndyCar Series is. So I'm really excited about it across the board, but really want to thank the folks at Worldwide Technology and Bommarito for letting us experiment with this.
It'll be a lot of fun. What is your impression of Curtis Francois and his team at the track?
I've loved working with Curtis, even when I was just, my first job as president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway before I took on the IndyCar side, and got a chance really to work with Curtis and Chris over the last several years, just being an oval track, which is obviously what the Indy 500 is, and working together to promote oval racing. And they're just great promoters. They care about the community, all the things that you want in a community partner in terms of business leaders, but certainly from the racing standpoint, that's what I love the most about them. They really care about community, and the investment that Curtis and the team have put into Worldwide Technology Raceway. It is a first-class facility, and they care about fans, and Curtis 100% and Chris 100% care about that fan experience and trying to make it great. So looking forward to seeing a lot of people out there.
I feel like the drivers really like it. I've talked to Joseph Newgarden about this. I've talked to Scott McLaughlin about this recently. It doesn't matter which driver it is. They love the challenge, the strategy of driving that particular oval because of the tight turns 1 and 2 and a little more open 3 and 4, Doug.
You really have to have a car that's set up to perform in two different, completely opposite corners for sure, as you noted, and it's a super high speed racetrack as well. So when you look at all of that together, it's definitely a team sport, and it takes a driver who can communicate to their crew to get the car set up exactly right. And then as the runs go on and the tires fall off a little bit, you really start to see people who have those great cars, and you can see people up front that slide to the back, and vice versa, just because of the difficulty and frankly the excitement of that track for the drivers. They love coming, they love running it, and the fans there as well are awesome.
Doug, going back to Fox and having this as a night race, have you seen a bump in ratings? Is the audience growing significantly here on Fox?
Well, we had a fantastic Indy 500, the best rating we've had in almost 20 years for the Indy 500 a couple of weeks ago. We were up last week in our Detroit race, which is fantastic. And I really believe this Sunday night race at a great racetrack like Worldwide Technology Raceway is going to help those numbers as well. And I hope what it does on Sunday night is it introduces a lot of people across the country who are sitting at home on Sunday night flipping through the channels and say, hey, what is this? And land right on an NTT IndyCar Series race. And hopefully that we'll see a significant bump from there. That's why I'm really excited that Curtis and Chris and the fans of Worldwide Technology Raceway and Bommarito have said, hey, let's experiment together and let's try and grow the sport together. And that's the kind of partners we need.
I have grown up around it. I went to Indiana University. I was born here, though, and have lived here my entire life. And my dad and I would go over for the time trials and really just soak it in. I grew up around it. So it's a familiar sound and feel to me. If you were introducing it to a casual sports fan, what would you say is its best attribute?
Well, I think one of the biggest attributes we have is we've got such great personalities in the series, the drivers, and just the personalities they have and how much they care about the fan experience. And then I think the other side of it, just the competitive side of the series, especially at a place like Worldwide Technology Raceway. I think where you might have 12 driver, half the field or so that has an opportunity to win at almost every race. I think you expand that to maybe 20 cars that have an opportunity to win. So it could be some really cool Cinderella stories in this race. And then the pomp and circumstance leading into the race and the way that Curtis and Chris think about the fan experience. So whether it's music or the midway or the pre-race show, I mean, all those things just create a special experience when you actually go to one of the races there. And I tell people all the time, it's one of those things that you really just have to experience. And the best way I can explain it is when you're on the beach and you take a picture of a sunset and you want to send it around to your family and friends, and you look at it on your phone, you say, you know what, this just doesn't convey that feeling I have right now. And that's really what racing at Worldwide Technology, you have to get there and experience it. Once you get there, I guarantee you'll be coming back and bringing friends.
I agree with you. Now, I have been in a partnership with Curtis and with Chris Blair for a number of years here, really starting in their pursuit of the NASCAR Cup But before that, IndyCar was such a staple. NHRA was the first one to really put their flag down when Curtis bought the track, and those have been so important to the track. And IndyCar, I agree with you. Seeing behind the scenes, because of my role with the track, I get to see and visit with leadership. And I wanted to ask you, because the Indy 500, of course, was spectacular. I mean, Alex Palou, I got to talk to him last week, his first win on an oval, and his celebration was awesome. But before and after that, there are technical inspections. There are, I would imagine, hard conversations that you have to have. You have to be a leader, and you have to be able to speak to them directly and tell the truth.
Yeah, we had a couple of challenges, obviously, in qualifying with the Penske cars, and then in the race with a couple of the Andretti cars and one of the Prima cars. And those are, so I'm a promoter at heart, right? I want to tell the good stories and be out front talking about how great our sport is. And then, unfortunately, one of the jobs that goes along with being president of IndyCar is making sure that people are showing up to the tech pad and are following the rules so that it's got a level playing field. And we've had some challenges, and those were definitely hard calls. And I'm back in the old days, I'm a lawyer by training, so taking off my promoter hat and putting on my lawyer hat in some of those conversations was difficult. But I think one of the great things about our sport is the teams, the drivers, and when you have those conversations, and they get when there was a mistake made, and they want the playing field to be even and level. And while they're disappointed that we had to move some cars to the back, I think at the end of the day, they all know that it's better for the sport in the long run.
Coming up next is Scott McLaughlin. Maybe just a word about Scott from your perspective. He had a rough start to that race, obviously. What I respect about him, and I say this in the interview, we talked at Rawlings earlier in the week, is that I respect how he goes right in front of the cameras always. No matter what happens to him, he is up front. He is the spokesman for that team.
He's been a great addition to the NTT IndyCar series. He's really passionate about it. He cares about the fan experience, and he's embraced the whole thing, coming from this supercars in Australia, really successful there, coming over and really sort of embracing the fan side of things on this end. But you're right. He owns it. Heartbroken for him, the way that the race began in May for him. He's one of the fastest drivers on the circuit. He will be a contender on race day on Sunday. The other thing that's really cool about him, he just became a naturalized U.S. citizen, and he was part of our naturalization ceremony at the Speedway. He loves being an American, and he's one of those personalities that's just really easy to root for and care for. And when he makes mistakes, he owns them. And that's really speaks a lot of people's character, not when they're winning, but when they're struggling. And he certainly has got a great character.
Really enjoyed being around him. One of my favorite things to do is to talk to these drivers and let people know who they're seeing, the humans behind the wheel, as they move around the track. This coming Sunday night, Father's Day, it's going to be an unbelievable night at Worldwide Technology Raceway for the Bommarito Automotive Group 500. NTT IndyCar Series President Doug Boles has been with us on KMOX. Thank you for this, and I can't wait to see you next weekend.
Yeah, no problem. Love doing it, and look forward to seeing everybody there. And again, thanks to all your entire listeners, some of whom had planned on coming to the race early next Sunday and are going to make some adjustments and come and enjoy it with us for our first ever network primetime TV at one of the greatest racetracks we run over at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Thanks to the folks at Bommarito and Curtis and Chris.
Yeah, thank you very much. It'll just be a longer party for everybody. That's what it's going to be. So good time.
There you go. Yeah.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
This is KMOX, the home of the St. Louis Cardinals. John Mozeliak and Bernie Miklasz coming up next hour. But next, it's someone who got a little taste of baseball this past week. Scott McLaughlin, IndyCar driver, got the Rawlings experience at Westport Plaza. Back after this on KMOX.
Don't let mosquitoes ruin your time outdoors. At Rottler Pest Solutions, our mosquito control services are designed to dramatically reduce mosquito activity so you can enjoy your yard in peace. Take back your yard. Visit Rottler.com today to learn more and schedule your free inspection.
Spring into a new home with amazing savings at TR Hughes. Hi, I'm Jason Hughes with TR Hughes Homes, and we are currently offering half off up to $40,000 in options and up to $5,000 in closing costs on brand new to-be-built homes at select TR Hughes communities. That's right, half up to $40,000 in options and up to $5,000 in closing costs. Visit trhughes.com for details.
The choice of a home builder is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
However, you really should visit trhughes.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. This is National Cancer Survivor Awareness Month, and we are joined by Dr. Lindsay Peterson.
And the program at Siteman Cancer Center is always evolving to address the needs of all of our patients. And so we want to know, what patients need, what we can do for them, and we want to make sure that we're providing those different resources for them.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
For residential and commercial heating repairs, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
We are 1 week away, the Bommarito Automotive Group 500 at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Tom Ackerman with you, joined by IndyCar driver Scott McLaughlin. Team Penske, but right now he is Team Rawlings. He is at the Rawlings Experience here at Westport Plaza. How did that go for you?
Pretty awesome. I mean, I designed my own glove and saw how a glove is fit and put together and understood that a little bit. And then I went in the batting cage and hit a few balls, which is pretty cool. And then we got a tornado warning, and we're in the basement of the Rawlings right now. So it's kind of crazy. I've never been a part of like that, but we're in the Midwest, and it's summertime.
It is a great sports town, you know that, and you've actually had some success in Madison, Illinois, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I love the track. The Gateway's been such an amazing spot for me, and it's one of the first oval tracks I actually drove. Did some testing here when I was in my rookie year, and I think we've had a really good success. Every race that we've run, we've finished in the top 10 and qualified on pole a couple of times. I don't know what it is about the track that I just love, but it suits my car and suits my driving style. And that next step for me is to win the race. And I really think we can do that this year.
It's a great event for not only race fans, but sports fans in general. And it's on Father's Day. And congratulations to you. This will be a great Father's Day for you.
Yeah, what a cool first Father's Day to be at the racetrack. I mean, honestly, like it's motorsport's our life, and it will be my daughter's life for a while, as much as she wants it to be. And to have her there with my wife, and as we create our own little family is an amazing thing. My father-in-law drives our bus to and from the races, so he'll be there. So it's going to be a full family deal. But like I said, I couldn't ask for a better Father's Day than racing and having my girls there with me.
And your wife is from Long Island, so you become a bit of a New York sports fan.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm a Mets fan by default with her. I was a Knicks fan in New Zealand when I was a young kid because I just I love basketball. It was one of the only American sports that was on TV. Jumped on the Panthers bandwagon because I live in Charlotte, which is not a fun bandwagon to be on right now. But I appreciate baseball. I appreciate any like pro sport and the effort and the way that people get to the elite level. And I don't know whether that's just because I'm an elite spot part of my expertise, I guess you could say. But I just enjoy team sport and seeing how it comes together.
You're in a team sport. There's no doubt about that. It is an incredible effort for people who get to see behind the scenes how many people are involved in IndyCar.
No, it's a huge amount. I mean, I think Penske as a whole, as a team, we employ 450 to 500 people at the home base. There's about 60 that travel with us to the races, about 20 odd in my car, and just in my car. So huge workload, huge amount of effort that goes in behind the scenes. But I'm a QB in some ways. I'm the leader of the team, and they rely on me a lot to be positive, and I enjoy being there. I like being the leader of the team, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, I think one of the things that is very much respected about you is when things don't go well, you are very quick to answer questions. You're quick to have your face on camera and be the face of that team.
Yeah, I mean, you got to ride the waves of emotions, especially in motorsport. For instance, the Indy 500, I spun on the pace lap and I didn't even get to see the start line. But I guess I count, I don't know whether it's a bad way to be, but sometimes it is, but everything happens for a reason. And I'm a firm believer that I've got to learn from that to move forward. And, and like I said, you are the leader. The guys and girls on the team lean on you to see what you say in the media. So you got to show face. You can't shy away from it, and through the good and the bad, because when it's good, you want to have your face everywhere because it's just such a cool feeling. So you got to go with the bad as well.
Is this a good Sunday off, a good week between? And what does a team do between races like that with that gap?
Well, it's my birthday this week. So
Happy birthday.
I'm actually having a birthday party. So, I have all the team over this time. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think we just try and relax. It's been 6 weeks, 7 weeks of just slogging the last little bit. So thankful that they can have a week off, and then we'll come back strong at Gateway and get back on the horse.
And finally, just to get into some baseball. And by the way, I grew up a Knicks fan. A lot of people didn't know that, but we don't have an NBA team here. So I went up to New York as a kid, fell in love with the Knicks. It was a tough way to end.
Yeah.
Mets are good, no doubt about it. They're my pick to win it all.
Really?
Wow. What was it like to get your own glove, to have Keith Hernandez sign you a ball? I mean, it's some pretty cool stuff that Rawlings set up for you.
Crazy, I mean, I only started knowing about Keith Hernandez like 2 years ago. I mean, I appreciate it so much, but I feel like I don't want to piss anyone off. Like at the same time, like I love it. It's been incredible. And I count myself very lucky. I'm a new baseball fan, but I'm a very passionate one. And once I get on a team, I'm locked in. And I agree. I think the Mets are looking really good. They've got a great record so far, but it's obviously so early in the season. But I love the way that Soto and Lindor and Alonso are working up front there in the first three. And I think we've just got a really in-depth team. And learning about the pitching strategies and how MLB teams go about it with so many events. I have such an appreciation for it, and that's why I love the sport so much.
There are some similarities in that baseball is a sport of failure. I mean, the best hitters of all time hit 300, which means 70% of the time they don't get one. It's also, in racing, you can come up short in a race.
Yeah.
Everybody comes up short except for one person.
Yeah.
You have to be able to, in a grind of a season, like in baseball, overcome that week after week, and in their case, day after day.
Well, exactly. It's you didn't put it. You put it the best. I think that 500 is a clear example of that. I mean, the only person that's happy at the end of that race, doesn't matter if you finish second with a bunch of money, is the winner. That's it. And anyone else is it's depressing. So you just have to get back on the horse. And my happy spot's getting back in the car, and like the best thing, sometimes is getting back in the car straight away the week after such a long month. But going to Detroit and racing again is so good, and I count myself very lucky to be able to do that. So, yeah, it's a tough slog. 150 games or something for an MLB season. I appreciate watching it. I certainly wouldn't want to be in it, but it's cool to watch.
Multiple top fives, pole sitter at Worldwide Technology Raceway. He's been there. We look forward to seeing you at Worldwide Technology Raceway at the Bommarito Automotive Group 500.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
That is Scott McLaughlin, the driver for Team Penske. Alex Palou won the race. He was our guest last week, so we've had a good run of IndyCar drivers. Joseph Newgarden was on the show not long ago. He has won the Bommarito Automotive Group 500 5 times. For McLaughlin, you heard him talking there about baseball. He has become a baseball fan. He's become a Mets fan. I think he's got a little heart for the Cardinals now after Rawlings treated him so well. He was supposed to throw out the first pitch earlier this week, but that game Wednesday got rained out. We had that massive rain, actually a tornado touchdown briefly in the Chesterfield Wildwood area while we were in Westport. So we actually did that interview in a tornado shelter. And that was his first tornado experience for Scott McLaughlin. We mentioned baseball in there. The Cardinals have their lineup out now. They've also officially made the move. Roderick Munoz goes back to Memphis for Michael McGreevy. The move is official. The transaction listed this morning. So McGreevy makes the start against the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw. Here's the lineup for Los Angeles first, facing McGreevy. Here's who McGreevy is going to have to face in his start against LA this afternoon. Shohei Ohtani is going to lead off in DH. Mookie Betts bats second. He will play shortstop. Freddie Freeman is the first baseman batting third. Teoscar Hernandez is in right field. He's the cleanup hitter today. Max Muncy is at third base batting fifth. Will Smith, hitting .319 on the season, bats sixth. He's the catcher. Michael Conforto is the left fielder batting seventh. Tommy Edman bats eighth and plays second base. And Hee-Sung Kim bats ninth and plays center field. How about that for a lineup? Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Hernandez, Muncy, Smith, Conforto, Edman, Kim. The problem is the Dodgers have only scored one run this entire series, even with those superstars. Here's who Kershaw will face. The Cardinals lineup looks like this afternoon. Lars Nootbaar will lead off and play left field. Mason Wynn is the shortstop batting second. Brendan Donovan is the second baseman batting third. Wilson Contreras will bat cleanup. He's the first baseman. Ivan Herrera is the DH this afternoon, batting fifth. Nolan Arenado back in there at third base. He bats sixth. He had the pinch hit game-winning double yesterday for the Redbirds. Alec Burleson is in right field. He bats seventh. Pedro Pajes behind the plate again. He will catch McGreevy this afternoon. He bats eighth. Jose Barrero is in center field, getting the start this afternoon, batting ninth. Victor Scott getting a day off, and Barrero will take his spot in the number 9 hole. Nootbaar, Wynn, Donovan, Contreras, Herrera, Arenado, Burleson, Pajes, and Barrero. Coming up next hour, we'll touch on the national sports that are going on, NBA, NHL, French Open, the Belmont, as well as all of the things happening around national sports. Then at 11:15, back to soccer. Lutz Pfannenstiel, sporting director for City. They're on the road tonight, 6 o'clock at Portland. 11:30, it's John Mozeliak, the Cardinals president of baseball operations. 11:45, Bernie Miklasz. Hello to all the tailgaters heading into the Battlehawks game. Thanks for listening to Anthony Becht and his comments earlier. This is KMOX.
Spring is here. Time to have your valuable trees inspected by Gamma Tree to enhance the beauty and safety of your trees. I'm Tim Gamma.
I'm Tom Gamma. Don't trust your trees to just anyone. Call the pros at Gamma Tree, now in our 71st year.
Our talented staff of certified arborists can survey your trees to determine their needs, whether pruning, fertilizing, pest control, or removals at the highest level of professionalism.
Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Call Gamma Tree today or visit us at gammatree.com.
Your trees deserve the best care.
You are a successful electrical contractor, but you plus a dedicated team supporting your project from day one? That's taking your productivity to the next level. And Graybar can help you get there. Your relationships plus our relationships. Your capabilities plus our job site services. Your challenges plus our technical specialists. You alone can get the job done. But you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
Many Americans take a fish oil supplement, often with the goal in mind of heart health, blood pressure, cholesterol, joint comfort. If that's you, you need to hear what the Cleveland Clinic concluded. At best, fish oil pills aren't likely to do much good for your health, and at worst, they could actually increase your risk of stroke. While omega-3 fatty acids are well studied and beneficial, many fish oil supplements contain a low dose of only 2 omega-3 fatty acids. 2. Krill oil from Native Path, on the other hand, contains a powerful extra antioxidant not found in fish oil. That powerful extra antioxidant makes krill oil from Native Path richer in omega-3 antioxidants. Plus, krill oil is better absorbed with higher bioavailability than fish oil, which means your body's getting more of the health benefits of the omega-3s. So do what I did and follow the research. Switch from fish oil to Antarctic krill oil from Native Path. You can get 66% off plus free shipping if you go to krillreport.com and click on my name, Debbie Monterey. Krillreport.com for Native Path krill oil.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss, where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Winner of 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, including Overall Excellence. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Peter King.
All we're doing is trying to help our people from being separated from their families. That's all we're doing.
That woman was one of hundreds of people protesting ICE raids targeting suspected illegal migrants in and near Los Angeles. Those demonstrations turned violent, and now some 2,000 National Guard troops are there under the president's orders. Democratic Senator Bernie Sanders on CNN's State of the Union.
The governor of California, the mayor of the city of Los Angeles, did not request the National Guard. But he thinks he has a right to do anything he wants.
CBS's Bradley Blackburn.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posted on X, this federal response is because of violent mob assaults on ICE and federal law enforcement as they conduct immigration raids. CBS News has learned that there is increased immigration enforcement going on, an average of 1,500 daily arrests last week.
As economists continue to warn Americans will ultimately pay the price for president's tariffs on imports, a just released CBS News poll suggests they're not happy about that. Deputy Surveys Director Jennifer DePinto.
59% oppose new tariffs on imported goods, as most Americans think they will lead to higher prices in the short run, and many think that'll be the case in the long run, too.
The U.S. and China are due to talk about trade and tariffs this week in London. Looking for work or for a raise in your current gig? Well, Boss Class podcast host Andrew Palmer says be careful about how you ask for it.
There are ways to diffuse the worry that negotiating is itself damaging to a relationship with an employer. That if you do it in the right way, you can both get paid more and send signals that you're a reasonable person just trying to get paid fairly, but with a commitment to the employer.
And he says being combative or threatening is a likely showstopper. The play about CBS News journalist Edward R. Murrow, Good Night and Good Luck, is nominated for 5 Tony Awards. The show airs tonight on CBS. CBS News correspondent Deborah Rodriguez has a look at some of the other nominees and highlights that you can expect to see tonight.
Why are you so impossible?
Oh, Mary, a farce about Lincoln's wife.
How would it look? Sensational!
We'll meet George Clooney's Good Night and Good Luck in the Best Play category. As for musicals, Buena Vista Social Club, Death Becomes Her, and Maybe Happy Ending lead the pack. Tonight's not-to-miss performance.
What's your name, man? Alexander Hamilton.
A reunion of the original Hamilton cast. Wicked Cynthia Erivo will host.
It's time to try to find.
Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News, New York.
This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At 11:03, mostly sunny, 74 downtown at the Arch. Good morning. I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story, a tornado likely touched down in Jefferson County last night near DeSoto. Radar and photos shared with Fox 2 show what appears to be tornadic activity. There may have been some tornado movement around Highway 21 in the 7 p.m. hour north of Vineland. A tornado warning had been issued for parts of Jefferson, St. Francis, and Washington counties. No reports of injuries, but the local fire chief says the tornado moved through more than 50 properties and about a dozen buildings sustained significant damage. The city is closing up some designated sites to drop off storm junk from last month's tornado. There's been a lot of work to clear the north side and Forest Park with downed trees and piles of bricks. The Missouri National Guards had a big part in now. And now the recovery has gotten to the point where the city, the public schools, and the National Guard are closing up the drop-off sites at Marshall, Farragut Elementary, and Turner Middle. Then the National Guard will clear those sites of debris, and then the city says debris can be left curbside like leaves in the fall. The slideshows continue.
Drag racing and other dangerous driving again Friday night in the Manchester marketplace, where most of the stores have closed on Manchester Road just east of McCausland. Police say the reckless driving was happening in the parking lot, dozens of cars involved. Those cars started speeding away when officers turned on their lights and sirens. But as has become customary, St. Louis police are not making any arrests of these drivers. Instead, they say they spiked the tires on 40 to 50 of those cars. St. Louis police spokesman Mitch McCoy says in a statement to KMOX, quote, "The spiking of these fleeing vehicles sends a clear message. This reckless behavior is not welcome in St. Louis, and we will continue to enforce the law," end quote. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
This afternoon, thunderstorms possible later on with some damaging winds, gusty thunderstorms probably into the evening hours. 85 for your high, overnight 62, but clearing up tomorrow, hazy sunshine and 83, partly sunny 83 on Tuesday. Then we're into the upper 80s for Wednesday and Thursday. It is 74 right now in St. Peter's, Florissant, and downtown at the Arch. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
What a fun hour that was, talking Cardinal baseball, Battlehawks football, IndyCar racing with IndyCar president Doug Boles and driver Scott McLaughlin. This hour, it's Lutz Vandensteel, sporting director for City at 11:15, John Mozeliak at 11:30, Bernie Miklas at 11:45. If you've been listening to this show for a while, you know that is a regular rotation. 11:15, 11:30, 11:45. Those are your numbers 1, 2, and 3 hitters in the order, and we look forward to that very much. Yannick Sinner is up 2-0 in the French Open final, leading the defending champion Carlos Alcaraz. He took the opening set, carried his momentum into the second, securing an early break and holding serve to take a commanding 3-0 lead. But right now in the third set, Alcaraz has struck back. He has a 3-1 lead in this set. Alcaraz saved 2 set points in the tiebreaker before Sinner wrapped up the set with a forehand attack that his rival could not return. Sinner and Alcaraz share 7 major titles, 4 for Alcaraz, 3 for Sinner, who is in the French Open final for the first time. Recently, Sinner, before he played in the Italian Open, gave a racket to Pope Leo, the first American pope, and Leo quipped before that. You know, Leo's a big tennis player, apparently. And when he was asked if he wanted to play in a charity match before the Italian Open, he said, yes, but we can invite Sinner, making a little joke there, play on the English version of Sinner's last name. The two did meet, though, after that, and they had a little fun together. And Yannick Sinner, the Italian, is up in the French Open final, 2 sets, but Alcaraz right now up 30-15 in the 5th game and leading 3-1 in this third set. We'll keep an eye on it. Coco Gauff won on the women's side. The American gets it done, defeating top-ranked Aryna Sabalenka 6-7, 6-2, 6-4, her second Grand Slam title. She won the U.S. Open in 2023, and now Coco Gauff, who resides in Delray Beach, Florida, from Georgia, has won her second Grand Slam title, winning the French Open. The NBA Finals continue tonight. It's game 2 between the Pacers and the Thunder. Oklahoma City is an 11-point favorite tonight against the Pacers. Did people not pay attention to game 1? The Pacers are not giving an inch. Now, perhaps people are anticipating a blowout this second time around because Oklahoma City has smoked just about everybody this year. They were far and away the best team in the NBA this year. But this Pacers team is tough to defeat. The Knicks learned it, and on it has gone, with Tyrese Halliburton hitting shot after shot after shot. And he did it in game 1, knocking down a shot with 0.3 seconds to go that gave the Pacers their first lead of the game. And they won inside Oklahoma City's arena. Final score was 110-109. And now they enter this situation where they'll be hosting the Pacers again after that. It was 111-110. After that matchup on Thursday night, here we go with the Sunday night game. There are 3 days between games now in the NBA Finals, and game 2 is tonight. I love the matchup of 2 teams in the middle of the country. Just love that. I think they play great basketball, and I like that people in the middle of America get to enjoy the NBA Finals. NHL Stanley Cup Finals, a little bit different. You have two opposite sides of the continent. You have the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers going at it, and they're even at a game apiece. Boy, Florida just plays a relentless style of hockey, very physical, and now they're in the comforts of home. That'll start up again tomorrow with Game 3, while Edmonton is just electric, the way that they play, the way they get up and down the ice. Connor McDavid feeding Leon Draisaitl and others for some great plays and great goaltending by Skinner. But this Florida team, they are the champions for a reason, and they are going to be tough to beat. I always seem to pull for the Canadian teams. I want to see one win one. Do you know that a Canadian team hasn't won the Cup since, you know when? 1993. That was my senior year in high school. I'll be 50 next month. Just throw that out there. That was Montreal defeating the LA Kings, the Wayne Gretzky LA Kings back in 1993. Last time a Stanley Cup champion came from Canada. So we'll be checking out the Oilers and the Panthers tomorrow. Cardinal baseball going on today. Again, a big one today. The Cardinals going for the sweep. They beat the Dodgers, as we illustrated last hour. Final score 2-1. John Mozeliak coming up at 11:30 to talk about that, and Bernie Miklasz at 11:45. Battlehawks at 5 o'clock today. So again, I'll say it again. I think if you want to give back to the city, if you want to give your family and friends some double entertainment, if you're going to this massive Cardinals-Dodgers game, consider heading to the Battlehawks game after. It'll time out perfectly. This game should end in the 3:30, 4 o'clock range, and then you can head over, tailgate, go into the Dome, and catch some football. I would say at a reasonable price. I think these tickets are very gettable and affordable for the Battlehawks DC Defenders XFL Conference Championship. If they get it, they get to host the UFL Championship on Saturday night, the 14th. And don't forget about IndyCar. We had a great conversation, and we're 1 week away from the Bommarito Automotive Group 500. Looking forward to all that. Those tickets are also available, www.raceway.com. So St. Louis is a sports headquarters right now. There's just a lot going on in and out of here, and we look forward to all of it happening today. City, they are out of town. They are in Portland taking on the Timbers on the road tonight. 6 o'clock start for them on Y98 FM. Coming up next, their sporting director, Lutz Pfannenstiel, will join us to discuss the recent victory and what's to come tonight. Stay tuned. Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio.
Your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. 104.1 FM. KMOX.
It's been said that our eyes are the windows to the world, and so it stands to reason we should take care of those eyes, right? And wouldn't you want to entrust that care to vision experts? Well, that's what you'll find at Ophthalmology Associates, specialists in every field of eye care, and they all share the common mission to provide their patients the highest quality of personalized care and attention. Thorough eye exams, cataract treatment, advanced vision correction surgeries, all aspects of eye care that's right for you is right at Ophthalmology Associates. This is Rick Wallace. They have been my trusted partners in the health of my eyes for almost 30 years. They are the best. Ophthalmology Associates, Drs. Bertie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer, 3 St. Louis area locations. Visit youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
Welcome back to RX Watch. This alert is disturbing.
Right. A while back, we learned that companies like Johnson & Johnson use a mineral called talc in baby powder and other products.
And studies show that talc, when used for feminine hygiene, can cause ovarian cancer.
Now listen to this. RX Watch has learned that the talc they use is being mined in China.
Right, and talc mined in China contains heavy metal contaminants like chromium and magnesium, which are known to cause cancer. But China doesn't care.
So China gets the jobs and we get contaminated talc in our baby powder.
And ovarian cancer.
Right. With their specialized tests, the medical team at Onder Law can help you know if your ovarian cancer was caused by talc.
Onder Law has helped women for years with free and confidential consultation. You need to call Onder Law's pharma attorneys at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
That's 1-800-RX-WATCH, or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
St. Louis.
Sends it forward in the air. Klaus hits it, gets by a defender, now tucks it home! Oh, Joao Klaus wins it, slides it, breaking the ice like the rage room at the bobsled jamboree! Stoppage time, first half! City leads!
Nice to hear that enthusiasm of that crowd again, isn't it? With Klaus scoring there and City taking an early lead against San Jose. They won it 2-1, and it was Edward Leuven who got the PK for that victory. That was fantastic. That was last weekend. Now a chance to win back-to-back games. They'll be playing at Portland tonight at 6 o'clock, and with a new look on the sideline, David Critchley is now 1-0 as coach of St. Louis City SC, their caretaker manager, and joining us is their sporting director, Lutz Pfannenstiel on KMOX. Lutz, it's always great to talk to you. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. Actually enjoying the sun in Portland. It's unreasonably hot for Oregon weather, so we expect, I think, 94 or 96 degree today when we kick off, which is really, really not happening that much in early June.
Wow, I did not know that. Wow, that is hot, man. It's 73 here. A really nice day. It's going to be 81 as the high. Portland is a challenge, but everything right now is about you, isn't it? Trying to get yourselves back on track, and congratulations on a great victory last weekend, Lutz.
Yeah, I think the change worked to have this new impulse coming in and really focus on our strengths, focus on our playing style. I don't mind repeating that 100 times. That is what the club was built on. Basically the philosophy, the DNA, our principles, and I think you saw that only after 3 sessions with David Critchley, that there was a different approach, not just a different lineup and a formation, but also a different approach when we went out there. And I think knowing a team like San Jose, which is one of the highest scoring teams actually at the moment in the league, doing really well, I thought we played a decent game against them, and not really 100% perfect yet, but I don't think we can expect that after such a quick turnaround. And now it's really up to work hard, having a big game, I think, today against Portland, another huge coming up against LA Galaxy. And then there is a little break where I think the players and the staff need to use a few days to calm down. It's an 11 or 12 days break for us, where not just working on the details, but also giving them a bit of time to calm down, a bit of to recover from a hard season so far, especially mentally. And then get going and, win as many games as possible.
And why Critchley? Ultimately, and I know you've answered this a million times already, but this is the first time you and I have talked since then. Is it the familiarity, the experience within your organization that ultimately decided to turn to Critchley?
Yeah, I think it's, to put it in a very simple word, he knows exactly how I want to play football, how the club wants to play football. He was the first academy coach we hired back in 2020 when he was the technical director and the coach in Lufius, where, his roots from Liverpool, being a big Liverpool fan, he always liked the high pressing, high intensity game. And when we met the first time and spoke football, and he was interested. He was very curious about how we want to build the club, on what kind of principles. And 5 years later, he lived it, he breathed it, and being very successful with the U16s, with the U17, and also having a really good start with City 2. I think it was a logical choice for us, and David worked hard. As I said, he knows it, what we want, and I think we all saw that last weekend on the field, what he managed to implement in such a short time.
You made an announcement today that you've added forward Brendan McSorley and defender Jazil Orozco to the first team roster on short-term loan agreements from City 2 ahead of tonight's matchup. This is Orozco's first short-term loan to the first team, McSorley making his second appearance on the roster this season. Tell us about those players, if you would, Lutz.
Yeah, I mean, McSorley, came in last year as a draft pick, and yeah, I think he fits to the City style like a glove. Very hardworking, not just a striker which thinks about scoring, but thinks also a lot about helping out his teammates in defensive work. A lot of high intensity runs. Really, really hardworking, honest kind of player. And we needed to strengthen a bit our defensive part as well. And I think that's where we had to make the second choice, where another young player who played already some MLS games before, who came in and did well under Critchley, can play various positions as well. He can play as a centre back, can play as a six, can play as a right back. I think that's why we made these two loan ups. And of course, again, story of my life. I think when we talk every Sunday, we had again some injuries during the week, so we needed to fill up the squad back up to 20. So that was one of the reasons. Plus, I think our two youngsters really, they training well with the second team. They trained well this week with the first team. They played some really good season so far, so they definitely deserve that call up.
For folks who want to, hear more about your philosophy, about the formation, about the way that you're approaching this, is this, just to put it in simple terms, more about valuing the ball than anything else when you're talking about the approach that you're taking here?
I think it's more about a way how we approach it with the ball and against the ball, and that's 50-50. So we still will never turn into a possession team which wants to have 70 or 80% of the ball. That's not us. But we want to be a team which is quick in transitions, which work hard to get the ball as quickly back as possible, who trying to defend very high up the field and to have a very compact shape. So it's not a big secret that you saw last week a different formation. We went from a 5 in the back straight away back into a 4. So that 4-2-3-1 was a formation where we always were successful, where we won all our games. And I think it's more about where we want to play football and where we want to win the balls, and that's actually in the opponent's half. If you're as high up as possible and you keep them away from your goal, you don't concede. If you park the bus and you try to defend in the back 5 just around the box, you're asking for trouble. So it's just a very different approach. I think it's back to basics. It's back to the City style. I did have the feeling that the people in the stadium did appreciate it, the way we played. I think you saw that already after 5-10 minutes, that it's a different way of playing. It's a different way of attacking, but also a different way of defending. And, you can lose games, and I think we still will lose some games, but it's about how you're doing it and what you're trying to present. And if everybody works as hard as possible and everybody leaves everything out on the field and we are active, we are front foot defending and not just sitting back and basically waiting and be reactive and let the other team have the ball, then that's not what people coming into the stadium for. Very, very simple. They're used to something we built very early on. I think the style of 2023 is in everybody's head. And that's where we have to get back, Tom, to get the people behind us. I understand the frustration. We both discussed that before. It's not about low-scoring games. It's not about always about results. It's about how you represent yourself as a group, as a club, with what kind of core values you approach a game. And I think we saw a big step forward last week.
I would agree. And you could hear it in the crowd. They were energized and they were ready to go, and they'll be waiting for you. Portland's crowd's great. We all know that. They'll bring it, and it should be fun to watch. That said, I have I can just hear it that this team is feeling good about itself and is showing up and feeling better. I'm sure it was an intense week of training, getting ready for all of this. When you take a look at this team and what they represent, that certainly is taken into account. But it is about winning, losing, and the rest of the league doesn't really pay attention to that. It's just the season never waits for you. You have all these injuries that keep popping up, and everything just keeps rolling, doesn't it, Lutz? What do you say about injuries right now? Can you give us an update on Leuven, Kessler? I mean, it just seems like they have piled up this year.
Yeah, we got Totland and Kessler back, which also came on last week, and which is it's an important one for us. I think it's out in public in the injury list that Edu Leuven did in trouble, which hurts us a lot. We still have Chris Durkin out, so there is a lot of important players are missing. So it's again, I always say our usual 4 or 5 or maybe 6 starters are not available. But then again, it's as you said, it's rotating. It's not always the same players. Sometimes it's that one, and sometimes it's this one. And if it's a contact injury, nothing really you can do about. It's also like I'm sick and tired of moaning the whole time about injuries, because it doesn't change anyway. Even if I moan to you, we still have the injuries, and it's just we have to believe in the group. Players need to step up. They need to be on the maximum of their capability to win games. And there is a big important transfer window coming up. It's not too far away. It's towards the third week of July when it opens up. So we're working hard already now in knowing exactly where we want to strengthen the squad, where we have to make some moves. And we have a big tournament coming up here as well with the FIFA Club World Cup, where there will be lots of players here which we can look at. There is not just Manchester City and Real Madrid here. There is also teams from all over the world with affordable budgets for us, which are here showcasing themselves in the United States with hundreds of agents and coaches and players, and everybody is right now coming into the States in the next few weeks. And I think that's for us an important time also to make use of the Club World Cup, to get as many connections as possible, to maybe pick up a player from that tournament. So that's something what I think we need to be focused in the next few weeks, and never or be clear that we do need to do our homework when it comes to the transfer market in the summer.
Looking forward to it all develop, and looking forward to tonight's matchup. Y98 FM will have it. It's a 6:00 start for St. Louis City SC at Portland. Lutz Pfannenstiel, sporting director, with us on KMOX. Thank you, Lutz. Good luck tonight.
Thank you so much.
Big weekend at Busch Stadium. Cardinals and Dodgers. Cardinals go for the sweep this afternoon. President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak, joins us live from the ballpark next. You're listening to Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stifel Sports Studio.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hospital Sisters Health System isn't just in your community. We're part of it. Expert care and genuine support backed by a network that puts your health first. HSHS, connected to our community, committed to your health. Visit hshs.org/caring.
Marie, is that you?
Oh, hi, Barb. How you doing?
Better now. Did you know we had a little health scare with Jeff?
Oh, no. What happened?
Well, he had been short of breath and was really tired a lot of the time. He just thought he was getting old and was out of shape, but it turns out it was heart valve disease.
How did you figure it out?
He finally went to the doctor, and she was able to listen to his heart and detected the problem. I didn't realize it, but heart valve disease is more common than you'd think. They were able to replace the valve, and he's feeling so much better now.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
More than 5 million Americans are diagnosed with heart valve disease every year, but most people know nothing about the condition, and it can be deadly if untreated. That's why it's important to listen to your heart and ask your doctor if your symptoms may be due to heart valve disease, or if you're at high risk. A message brought to you by Heart Valve Voice US. For more information about the symptoms and treatments for valve disease, go to heartvalvevoice-us.org.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. Dreaming of a brand new home but don't want to wait? You are in luck. McKelvey has dozens of brand new move-in ready homes with tremendous savings. And take advantage of our special 30-year fixed financing from the Fives. We have a wide variety of luxury custom homes in prime locations, all with McKelvey's legendary quality and personal service. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
At California Psychics, we know some people can't read the career warning signs, like your boss still not knowing your name.
You, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Carrie, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
So talk to California Psychics and receive the career guidance you need. We only connect you with the very best, so guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough, but with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across our multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
We are getting some reports that St. Louis Lambert Airport's power is out, that there was a power outage there. We got a report on X from 97.1 FM's Annie Fry. She was there and said that the power is out. We are checking on that. We'll get you an update as soon as it becomes available. 11:31, Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. We are joined by Cardinals President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak. His team going for a sweep this afternoon against the Dodgers. Good morning, Mo.
Morning, Tommy. How are you?
Doing great. What a day yesterday. What a weekend. Let me start with this. I see that you visited with the bloggers here recently. That's your annual visit with them, isn't it?
Yeah, we've been doing that since I think 2011, where we just host a day. They get to do a few Q&As with me, and then also get to enjoy some ballpark fare and a game. And yesterday was obviously my final one with them, and it was kind of fun to sit down with them. And they actually presented me a little gift, which was kind of cool, and a little bobblehead with me. And so it was fun. But that was yesterday, and obviously they got to see an exciting game, which was awesome.
Where are you going to put that bobblehead? In the office, I imagine?
I brought it home to let my wife have a laugh, and then I think she ended up putting it like in the family room, but I don't think it's going to stay there.
I follow the bloggers. I follow a lot of fans. I like to hear what everybody is saying, and I love the bloggers. I think that they, show a real passion for this sport, for this game, particularly for the Cardinals. And the more you can get written about you and talked about you can be a good thing. You want that sort of interaction. I think the Cardinals have probably one of the longest list of bloggers in the game.
Yeah, this group here, a lot of those faces I've seen from day one. And, I think they really do love what they're doing. And you use the word passion. I think that's real. But they care about the product and what we're doing. And, usually the questions are a little bit more detailed. Like you have your prospect hawks and that kind of stuff that show up. But yesterday it was a little bit more lighthearted, and it was fun. So it was cool. And I too appreciate what they do. And I don't necessarily read every word they write, but nonetheless, I appreciate that they are following the Cardinals and advocating for them.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it would take you all day to read everything, but some of them have their own lane. So if you want, like you said, if you want to follow prospects, you can follow this person, you can follow this person. I really appreciate that. And it's always fun for us covering the club to interact with everybody. And, it is fun when they're winning. I mean, there is no doubt about that. I think everybody has more fun when the Cardinals are winning, especially this year in this situation. Somewhat unexpected that the Cardinals could go toe-to-toe with the best and perform like this. But then again, when you look at the team, I don't see really a very low floor for them. It's pitching, it's offense, it's elite defense. It seems, Mo, like you have pieces here to compete, and you are competing.
Yeah, I think you summed it up well. And I think really maybe even more important to all of that is just the internal confidence this team is starting to have. I really believe when this group shows up to the ballpark, they feel they have a chance to win today. And, of course, I've been part of teams where you don't necessarily have that feeling. And this team definitely has it. And, just even getting around the guys this morning, it's just a good vibe. And it's exciting to be a part of. So, yeah, I think we're going to have a fun summer. We certainly had a kind of a tale of two cities, right? The first month was strange, and then the second month was great. And if we can just keep building on that, it's going to be a really good year.
It's been fun to follow these young players. And then here comes Michael McGreevy. I mean, we saw him last year. We saw him in spring training sparkle. We saw him for a brief moment here this season. And now he takes the ball. Mo, just your thoughts on making this move right here, right now for Michael McGreevy.
So a couple thoughts. We're obviously in a scenario right now where we don't have any off days for about 2 weeks. And, one of the things that I think we've been very successful at is trying to keep our starting pitchers fresh and, having them be able to go deeper into games. And so we really wanted to just add that extra day of rest for some individuals. And by bringing up Michael, it allows us to do that. And, candidly, he's obviously when he's been in the big leagues, he's pitched well. When he's right now at AAA, he's throwing the ball very well. And so he deserves this shot. And obviously it'll give the rest of the guys a little breather, which is good.
Victor Scott gets a breather today, and Jose Barrero plays in center field. What have you thought of Scott here recently?
Well, obviously from an offensive standpoint, he's been struggling a little bit. Facing a tough left-hander, it probably makes the most sense. And, you also got to keep your bench fresh. And, it's been tough because our group's been playing well, and you're trying to, squeeze the most wins each day. But I think this makes sense, and hopefully Victor can get back to where he was early on in the season from an offensive contribution. Obviously, elite defender, nothing's changed there. But from an offensive standpoint, maybe give him a break off a tough lefty.
Two-part question on Jordan Walker. How is he doing? And secondly, what opportunities have you seen from others in his absence to try to take advantage?
Well, first on his health, he is progressing. It wouldn't surprise me at some point this week he goes out for a rehab assignment, so that's good news. And in terms of, giving Burley or Gorman a little more opportunity in the field or at bats is something that hopefully they can take advantage of. Unfortunately, we've faced a kind of a long stretch of a lefty lane here, and so we're not being able to really optimize that. But in time, we'll see what happens this week. But obviously, trying to get those guys more at bats as best we can is something we've been focused on.
Had about enough of this rain. I mean, geez, we've had
mercy
enough. I mean, delay after delay, doubleheader. That's 5 doubleheaders. I saw somewhere that you had performed in a third of Major League Baseball's doubleheaders at one point, 5 of 15.
Yep, exactly. And that doesn't even count games we've been delayed in or, games we played in with light rain. So it's, we've kind of had that dark cloud over us for much of the season. But, I mean, it really just shows you sort of the grit of this club because, they've been handed some tough circumstances to play in, and yet they still find ways to win. So when people ask me about this club, I feel like gritty is a great word.
It is a good word to use. You take on the Dodgers today, then the Blue Jays for 3, and then the Brewers on the road for 4. You've talked about the 6-man rotation, and this offense. And how about last night? You pinch hit for, and I'm again going to prop up Ollie Marmol here. I thought he pushed every button correctly yesterday. That was a really good game for Ollie Marmol, and finishes it off with Nolan Arenado putting one in left field in a pinch hitter's role. That was some performance to go back to last night or yesterday afternoon.
Look, obviously, I'm a big advocate for Ollie. We've talked about him on this show before. I think he does a tremendous job. I do agree. Yesterday, everything he did worked, and that was awesome. And, Nolan coming off the bench, that's a great way to have an off day, right? You get one at bat, you do what you need to do, and you go home. And, very exciting game yesterday. Obviously, a lot of zeros on the board for most of the game. Finally get one across, then they counter, and then to win it. So it was cool.
Congratulations on that. Good luck today. Thank you for the time, not only on these Sundays, but again, thanks for Wednesday. Popping in on the Gas House game was pretty cool. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, let's have a good day today, and we'll catch up next week.
Always good to hear from John Mozeliak multiple times here on KMOX. He is good to us. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Bernie Miklasz for the rest of the hour as we take you up until noon. Then Scott Warman will take over from Busch Stadium as pregame begins 12:20, 1:15 first pitch. Cards and Dodgers, big crowd coming in, not only for that, but for the Battlehawks at the Dome this afternoon at 5. Thank you in advance for bringing in items to donate if you're going to the Battlehawks game to their tailgate. They are accepting items, food, and cleaning supplies, toiletries. Think of the essentials that those who are without homes right now need. So thank you in advance for bringing those items to the Battlehawks tailgate this afternoon. They start at 5. Cardinals start at 1:15. Downtown's the place to be. That's where we are right now. Back in a moment on KMOX.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone or just taking a deep, calming breath to ground yourself. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Spring is here. Time to have your valuable trees inspected by Gamma Tree to enhance the beauty and safety of your trees. I'm Tim Gamma.
I'm Tom Gamma. Don't trust your trees to just anyone. Call the pros at Gamma Tree, now in our 71st year.
Our talented staff of certified arborists can survey your trees to determine their needs, whether pruning, fertilizing, pest control, or removals at the highest level of professionalism.
Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Call Gamma Tree today or visit us at gammatree.com.
Your trees deserve the best care.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
A few years ago, CTV was a buzzword. Now it's your most important channel, while your current DSP is still playing catch-up. Viant's been leading CTV from the start, delivering real results across the world's most premium streaming content, viewed by real consumers, backed by real reporting. With AI-driven optimization, people-based targeting, and inventory from the biggest names in entertainment, Viant doesn't just reach audiences, it moves them. Viant, where premium streaming meets performance. Visit Viant.ai to unlock real results today.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how, learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Dell's team and get educated now at Lifestyles Unlimited. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for just $297. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007.
For residential and commercial heating repair, service, maintenance, or installation, contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Installation. With over 50 years of HVAC service, get in your comfort zone this winter. Visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Now, back to the Great Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Well, will you look at this? Cardinals and Dodgers with a chance for St. Louis to sweep. What do we have here? Big game today on KMOX. Our visit with Bernie Miklas is sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Bernie, good morning. Always good to have you on the show.
What a great day for baseball and what a great day for sports in general in St. Louis with the Battlehawks hopefully going to win the Eastern Conference Championship today.
It would be great to do it. I did the game last year with Mike Martz. That was an unbelievable experience. They ended up losing that, and San Antonio went on to play in basically an empty building. I mean, this league depends on St. Louis at this point, and a UFL championship with St. Louis fans filling the building next Saturday would be I think it would make national news, actually.
Yeah, and listen, I know we want to talk Cardinals, but real quick, on this, I really like the Battlehawks' chances simply because they played them in Washington not too long ago, within the last 3 weeks or so, and Coach Anthony Becht has just basically made no not trying to be a wise guy at all. He's just going to run. They're just going to pound you on the ground, and the Washington defenders just couldn't stop them at that game in DC 3 weeks ago. So they're going to do the same thing. I unless there's turnovers, I can't see Washington stopping the Battlehawks on the ground. I really can't. And Max Dugan, the quarterback, is one of the reasons that ground game goes too, because he's pretty quick and he can get out and make plays with his feet.
The big networks carry this thing. ABC has the 2:00 game, Michigan at Birmingham, and then Fox has DC at St. Louis. It is on TV today at 5:00, not on radio. I know I mentioned we had the radio broadcast last year, but there is no radio broadcast this year. However, there is KMOX Radio's broadcast of the St. Louis Cardinals. And Bernie Miklas, the 11-time world champions, are at it again. They are in the spotlight. People buzz about you when you beat the Dodgers. And if they can drop the hammer today, my goodness, I mean, what a scene that would be. The Cardinals have put themselves in an unexpected and very welcomed position.
They're in the process of just completely changing the perception of what they were supposed to be or what they were. I think it's happened in St. Louis quicker than it has nationally, but I even think, even locally, I think maybe it's taken some folks. We're kind of sitting back and just making sure this was for real. I get it, but the Cardinals. I'll tell you something about the Cardinals and the Dodgers. The Dodgers got off to a 23-10 start, and we know the Cardinals got off to a pretty bad start, but since May the 4th, this one blows my mind because I know we're all excited, and we should be, because the Cardinals won 2 great games against the Dodgers, who are still considered the team to beat in the National League, although there's some questions about that. But since the 4th of May, the St. Louis Cardinals are 7.5 games better than the Los Angeles Dodgers. Cardinals are 22-9, which is the best record in the majors. The Dodgers, since that same day, are 15-17. So in a way, maybe we shouldn't be surprised. I mean, we should be really, really happy. I don't know that we should be all that surprised by now, though.
No, I get that. I think you're just blown away by their lineup day after day. I mean, they're throwing MVP candidates at you: Ohtani, Betts, Freeman. We know what Hernandez can do. Muncy, for crying out loud. Smith was number 2 in the league in hitting coming into the weekend, and on it goes. And then they throw these great arms at you. The fact that they aren't doing as well, or that the Cardinals are overtaking them, is something to behold, I think. And it brings to mind, you can't just always just buy a team. I mean, it's a long season, and things have to play out, don't they?
I've been preaching that for a couple of years, and people, every time I say, like, I don't really care what the size of the payroll is. I care about how you spend your money, and I care about whether you have a great player development system, you're growing your own talent, and also I care about whether you play the game the right way and the manager's doing a good job. There's still too many people that are way hung up on payroll. And, the Dodgers spend all this money on pitching. They've had to use 18 starting pitchers this year, 17, I'm sorry. And they've used, I think, 30 pitchers now overall. And like we were talking about on the Redbird Rush Hour Friday with Mr. Wheeler and Mr. Pauly, you can buy pitchers, but you cannot buy pitching health. And I don't know, the Dodgers seem to be really, really, really bad at this. It's the one thing they're bad at. They just throw all kinds of money at pitchers, and then they can't keep a lot of them healthy. So the reason why the Cardinals have been so much better than the Dodgers on May the 4th, with all due respect to the Cardinals, the Dodgers still have, I'd say, the number 2 offense in the majors behind the Cubs, if you go by the numbers. But so the Cardinals can't really match up. If you're going to get into like 8-7 games, the Cardinals aren't going to win those against the Dodgers. But the reason why the Cardinals have such a better record than the Dodgers since May the 4th is because there is a huge difference in each team's earned run average. I mean, the Cardinals are more than a run lower, I should say, than the Dodgers, because the Dodgers are they're plugging in anybody. I think Jason Isringhausen was signed on contract by the Dodgers. I think he was out there earlier this week. I'm just kidding, of course. No, but they're signing they're going bananas. I mean, it's like, they signed Chris Stratton, the former Cardinal. Then they designate for assignment. Then he signed him again. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. No. Then they DFA'd him again. Now they're going to sign him back. It's like they can't. They're just like frantic to find pitching. And it's kind of funny to watch because count their payroll tax, because they'll be hit with a pretty big payroll tax this year at the end of the year. The Dodgers will have, when you count the 40-man luxury tax payroll plus the penalty, the Dodgers will have spent $562 million on their team in 2025. But they don't have pitching, even though they spent a fortune on pitching. So yeah, way too many people think that it's all about what you spend, and it's really not. And I think the 2025 Cardinals are a delightful story, and that's one of the reasons. Because they're paying between 135 and 140 million. They're 19th or 20th. There's a whole bunch of teams they've got better records than, who spend a lot more than they do. And yet the Cardinals, they have an efficient payroll. They're getting every dollar's worth out of the talent that they have. And we're seeing what happens if you do put together a good young nucleus that can play ball, and you have a manager that can create a style for those players and create a culture that makes the game, even though it's the perfect combination, because this young team, plus put the veterans in there too, who have caught the fever. This young team competes its tail off, but yet they have a ball playing game. They love to come to the field every day. And that's the kind of team that I think we all like the best.
Eventually, they want to have a deep reserve of starters that they can call on. They're starting to come around now. Dakoa Roby looks good. Quinn Matthews is working his way back, and here comes Michael McGreevy. He takes the ball today at 1:15, Bernie. We've seen him. We appreciate what he's done. Here's my question. If he performs well today, is there a scenario where he stays?
I would think so. Listen, let's be honest here. It's going to come down to him or Palante. And listen, we all like Andre Palante. It's not like anybody hates him personally. But, I mean, his last 9 games, he's got a 5.80 ERA, and he's walking too many people, and he's allowing home runs. And most glaringly of all, when you consider that 70% of the at-bats in the major leagues are taken by right-handed hitters. Andre Pallante is getting bushwhacked. He is getting wiped out by right-handed batters. And so I'm not sure how that gets better when you cannot put up a fight against right-handed hitters, even though you're a right-handed pitcher. Where's the out? Like where's the solution? So I think Pallante could benefit from a grouping down in Memphis. Well, we'll see what they do. I will say this: I think Ollie Marmol, and you know this too, because we the three of us host a show where he appears on every Tuesday on the Gas House Gang. 12. He usually goes about 12 to 12:40. Ollie, the fans are really warming up to Ollie Marmol. But I will say, as well everything's gone, if McGreevy pitches a gem and then they send it back down, I think there'll be some growling about that, and I can understand it. I can.
I understand that as well. I had John Mozeliak on a few times here in the last week, the last 2 Sundays, including today, and on a Wednesday appearance at the Gas House Gang. And I thought that he, on the Gas House Gang, opened up a little bit about, and this is the final thing for you, Bernie, about how this transition will be from John Mozeliak to Chaim Bloom, that this draft will be different, that the trade deadline, there will be some input. You could hear it, that he is starting to paint the picture of what this will look like. Chaim right now is canvassing the minors. He is scheduled to continue to do that, but at some point he will have a big say as to what this big league roster looks like.
And I thought you all made some news the other day, because one of the things Mo said was, actually, he made some news with some of the stuff he said in terms of Chaim Bloom's having a more important role maybe than we anticipated in some of the stuff going on. But then in another interview, Mo told Brian Kenny of MLB Network, he said, we're in the transition. And he said, at some point I'll hand off the baton. And he said, maybe August, September. So he plans to hand the baton to Chaim Bloom before the end of the regular season, which I think is a good idea because it'll help Chaim Bloom even more prepare for 2026.
I agree. I think that is going to happen. Bernie, we have so much Bernie Miklasz out there available. We can't get enough. You're part of the STL Sports Central group. You do a terrific job with Katie Wu. You're writing, you're posting. It's Bernie Miklasz, the franchise, and I absolutely love it.
Well, I love being part of KMOX, and I love working with you. Thanks for having me on every Sunday. It's an honor to be on the show.
It's great to be with you. Follow him on YouTube. Check us out on the Gas House Gang. We're on Tuesday at 12:05 with Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol. The Cardinals and the Dodgers this afternoon. We are just about to take you to pregame. If you want to go back, Sports on a Sunday Morning was loaded today. We heard a little bit from Battlehawks coach Anthony Becht after we ran through some Cardinals highlights. Then we shifted gears to IndyCar with the president, Doug Boles, and driver Scott McLaughlin. Then back to some national news, and we hit Lutz Pfannenstiel up with a phone call. Talked about City's game tonight with him, then Mo, then Bernie. Good show. James O'Sullivan's the producer. I'm Tom Ackerman. Cardinal baseball is next.
Here's an old joke about Uncle Sam's new tax short form. The first line says, "How much did you make?" The next line says, "Send it in." Really, not that funny, but that's what a lot of people do in retirement. They take money out of their 401k or IRA and end up sending it in when they pay taxes. Steve All of the All Financial Group invites you to take their tax challenge. What if your current plan included thousands of dollars in unnecessary taxes and fees, or maybe higher Medicare premiums or a lower Social Security check? What if the savings you realized could allow you to retire early? Wouldn't you want to know about that right now? Take the All Financial